Namaste, Jai Shivaya. Let's talk about what is the longevity of happiness actually. So, that which you call pleasure comes from your senses, right? So, let's talk about, say, for example, you are eating chocolate cake. Then the first piece of cake, the way it tastes and the way it gives you pleasure or happiness, it's not going to be the same when you are eating the 10th piece or 20th piece, for example. Alright? If you are viewing first time something, looking at somebody or looking at beautiful scenery, mountain places, so you go to a very beautiful place, then what happens? The way you feel first few days, you do not feel. If you start living there and if you start seeing it on everyday basis, it's not going to be the same, right? So the happiness, the quality of happiness goes down and the amount of happiness also goes down when it comes to sensory pleasures. Same thing is with any kind of music or mantra yantra that you are listening to, any chanting that you are listening to, or the music, the songs, the poetry, the stuff that you are listening to, right? The way it feels first few days, it doesn't have that impact on you after some time. Then you will go to new songs, new music, right? So sensory pleasure is limited. The happiness that you acquire from sensory pleasure has a very limited impact on you. Same thing is with the touch. Somebody's touch, you may be feeling it for a few days or months and after that it is gone. You don't feel the same way with them. So sensory pleasure is the shortest lived pleasure. That happiness goes down very fast, and that's the reason you look for new object, new place to look at, new person to look at, new person to touch, new things to eat, new songs to listen, new music to listen. The reason you go on changing the objects of your sense for your senses is because the pleasure, the happiness attached to your senses goes down really fast. Now let's talk about mental happiness, mental and emotional happiness. Suppose you are reading a book, a very nice, very good book. So the knowledge that you attained, the knowledge that you acquired from that book, that knowledge is going to give you a much longer happiness. It may be a fantasy novel that you are reading. The impact of reading it will stand for a long time, will be a long-term thing in comparison to your senses. But eventually it will come to an end too. You will start reading some other book. The happiness that comes from relationships, good relationships, also comes down after some time. But in comparison to your sensory pleasure, it stays for a longer duration. Any emotional satisfaction that you get stays much longer with you. But the quality and the quantity of it ultimately comes down. So relationships. So all the things in this samsara and all the relationships and mental, emotional, professional relationships that you have in life, the happiness that they are giving you eventually is going to erode away. That happiness is going to fade away. And then what? New relationship, new kind of mental satisfaction. Try being a social media activist on social media. Right? So you will go on looking for new mental gymnastic, more and more, new emotional gymnastic you will do in order to gather more happiness, because previous ones are not giving you that happiness any longer. What kind of happiness is not causal? So you see all these kind of sensory pleasures and the mental and emotional happiness that you are having and sensory pleasures that you are having, all of them have a cause behind it. And you go on changing that cause. Your constant effort is towards changing it, acquiring something new, something new, something new. Next one, next one, next one, next one. Right? Because the happiness is fading away and you are actually trying to be happy all the time. Right? Even the peace that you attain by listening to beautiful music, by being in a mountain scenery, it's going to fade away. Anything that has a cause attached to it is going to fade away after some time. They only have so much longevity. But Paramananda, the bliss that happens as a result of samadhi, Paramananda, neither goes down in intensity nor it ends ever once you achieve it. That's a permanent happiness, permanent bliss. It never goes down in intensity. The quality of it never goes down. Neither the quantity ever goes down. The way I felt after samadhi, right after samadhi, the bliss that has happened to me 3 years back, it is exactly the same even now. Neither it has gone down in quantity nor in quality. And its longevity is for forever. Till the time I have some existence left, some piece of my existence is alive, till the time I am in this body, is going to be there. And even when I leave the body, it is going to be there. So go for Paramananda, bliss. Do not go for sansara related happiness. Even if you go for sansara related happiness, there's nothing wrong about it. But do not mistake them with that which is eternal. Don't think of them as something permanent. They are going to end. That pleasure, that happiness has an end, has an expiry date written on it. Think about it. Go for Paramananda. Namaste. Jai Shivaya.